What's up, fight fans? I'm here to bring you the picks for UFC Fight Night Smith vs. Rakic. So let's get into it. Starting off the prelims, we have Mallory Martin versus Hannah Cifers. Martin's a stand-up fighter with a guillotine. Cipher, she's kind of slow. In the Angela Hill fight, she just got completely outclassed. She couldn't catch Angela Hill. Angela Hill was just coming in and out way too fast for her. And Cipher rushes in. She doesn't use her feints well. She comes in and she gets hit a lot. And when she gets taken down on the ground, I don't think she has much on the ground game. So with that said, I'm going with Martin by decision. Next up, we got Polyana Viana versus Emily Whitmire. This is going to be an interesting fight. Whitmire's coming in as a favorite. I think Viana has a great boxing for her. She's a jiu-jitsu fighter. And I feel like every opponent she's had, she's been the better boxer. But she throws her kicks a little bit sloppy. She drops her hands when she kicks, and she eats big shots. We saw that when she fought against Hannah Cifers. Cifers caught her every time on the kicks, but I feel like she outboxed her. Viana's going to have a 3.5-inch reach advantage. Whitmire's good all around, but I don't see her being great anywhere. I see Viana having an advantage on the feet and probably on the ground as well. So with that, I'm going Viana by submission. After that, we got Sean Brady versus Christian Aguilera. I think Aguilera has really powerful and crisp striking. He could definitely do some damage on the feet. But Brady is more of an all-around fighter. He's got great takedowns as well. I think he can really take this fight to the ground and dominate there. I think Aguilera can land a KO punch in the first round, and that's his way to victory. And if he doesn't get that, then Brady will get a takedown, and he'll end up getting the takedowns he needs to get the decision win. So I'm going with Brady by decision. That, we got Alex Caceres versus Austin Springs. Austin Springs coming in on short notice, making his UFC debut. He beat Giga Chikadze, who is in the UFC, so he has beaten some good guys. But he's taking this fight on like 3 or 4 days' notice. And Alex Caceres is a crafty veteran. We saw what he did to his last opponent. He came in as a heavy underdog against an up-and-coming guy who didn't have as much experience. And he took advantage of that, and he was able to win the fight off his knowledge and his MMA IQ alone. With that said, Austin Springer is coming in as a pretty big favorite, but I gotta go with Alex Caceres by decision. I think he's gonna pull this one out, just like he did with his last opponent. Following that fight, we got Alessio Di Chirico versus Zach Cummings. Chirico, I noticed in his fight, he's pretty patient, and he will commit, but he's waiting for his opponent to make the first move and counter off them. He mixes up his strikes and takes down well, but he doesn't set up the strikes very well. So he can go from striking to takedowns, but getting into that distance is difficult for him. I feel like he's not using the feints and not throwing combos. Both guys are coming off losses, so they're definitely going to want to get a win back. They're both going to come motivated. Cummings throws some more combos. I think that's going to be the difference in this fight. He also feints pretty well. So I'm going to go with Cummings by decision. We got the headliner for the prelims, Maki Pitolo versus Impa Kasangane. I think Impa's main combo is the shuffle and jab with the overhand right. He throws that one a lot. We saw that in the Contender Series. Kasangane is making his UFC debut. Kasangane, he can get the takedown, and he has good top control once he gets there. And he stays composed and can really punish you on the ground. Pitolo, on the other hand, he hits hard, and he has pretty good takedown defense. So that might be where the fight really comes down to. Who's going to get the takedown? Is Kasangane going to get the takedown, or is Pitolo going to be able to defend it? Pitolo's got great cardio. He's not going to get tired, but I'm worried about his durability. He's fighting his third fight in 2 months. He's coming off a loss, but he was dominating the fight until he got submitted. He was beating Darren Stewart, really piecing him up. Then he went for a takedown and got caught in a guillotine. That finished the fight. I think there's going to be a great fight, a great headliner for the prelims, but I got to go with Pitolo by KO. I think he is going to be able to stop the takedowns and dominate on the feet. Starting off the main card, I'm super excited for this fight. It was canceled before, and the first time they fought was very controversial. Ion Cutelaba versus Magomed Ankalaev. Cutelaba, everyone knows, he can come in and land a big shot, knock his opponent out in the first round. He's done it many times before. But Ankalaev, he's really good at keeping his distance. He can back up, keep that distance, work his jab, and avoid those big shots. We've seen that in his previous fights when he fought Lungiambula. Lungiambula was just charging at him, and Ankalaev was able to avoid him. He played the role of the matador, and he was able to finish that fight. Because of that, I got to go with Magomed Ankalaev by KO, but Cutelaba could definitely get the KO in the first round. We got Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Algeo. Algeo fought 2 weeks ago for a decision win. He fought on August 13th. I think he's probably still going to be beat up from that fight. And I don't know if he's going to be prepared for Ricardo Lamas. He fought Jose Aldo for a title shot. He's fought some of a bunch of legends in the sport. And he's a guy that you really need to prepare for. You can't just take him on 2 weeks' notice, no camp, and not being healthy. I don't think that's going to go very well for Algeo, who's making his UFC debut. So I'm going to go with Lamas by KO. Following that, we got Ji Yeon Kim versus Alexa Grasso. Grasso is giving up 6 inches of reach. It's a massive difference. She's moving up in weight. Kim hasn't shot a takedown in the UFC, but she's very aggressive on the feet, and she pressures nonstop. She's a volume fighter. She throws a lot of shots and tries to overwhelm her opponent. Grasso, on the other hand, is a very technical boxer. She picks her shots and finds her openings, and doesn't throw as much, but throws great combos and can do damage. I think this will be a close fight. I'm not sure why the odds are what they are. Kim is at plus 250 and Grasso is at minus 300. Again, who's moving up in a weight class she's never fought in before. Can Grasso counter Kim's pressure and get past the reach? Or will Kim utilize her reach very well and avoid getting hit? This is going to be a really tough call. I'm going to go with Alexa Grasso by KO. She's finished all the fights that she's won, 100% finish rate. I think she's going to get the finish in this one. After that, we get into the co-main event, Robbie Lawler versus Neil Magny. This is going to be a crazy fight. Robert Lawler coming in on short notice. Magny's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage. Magny, he's a master at controlling the distance and using his jab to avoid getting hit. He uses a lot of footwork, moves around a lot during the fight. Lawler, we all know, he was a champion, a great champion. He has great cardio. We've rarely seen him be tired. And everybody knows about 5th round Lawler. But unfortunately, this is going to be a 3-round fight. Magny has a tendency to get pushed into the cage. I think if Lawler exposes that, pressures him, gets him up against the cage, he can land some big shots and possibly end the fight with that. We know that Lawler struggles with pressure wrestlers. We saw him with Colby Covington and RDA, both similar styles, and he struggled a lot against that. So I think Magny's going to use a lot of his movement. Definitely going to use that jab to control the fight. He's going to outside fight the whole time. I think Robbie Lawler is going to be the one pushing the action. And I think if Magny can use his movement, avoid getting caught against the cage, and not trading with Lawler, simply sticking to the style we know, stick and move, I think he'll end up getting the decision win. He's got a clear way to win, so I don't see a clear way for Robbie Lawler to win. He has to kind of rush Magny and try to get a shot in, but Magny can avoid that with the skills he has. So I'm going to go with Magny by decision. Finally, in the main event of the evening, Anthony Smith versus Alexander Rakic. This is a really interesting fight. Rakic coming in as a big favorite, Smith as a big underdog. Maybe it's because of Smith's last fight. 3 months ago, he was beat pretty bad by Teixeira, suffered a broken nose, broken orbital, and lost several teeth. I don't know if 3 months is enough time to recover from a beating that he took. Maybe he'll look slow. But we see Anthony Smith, he doesn't quit. He had a title shot pretty recently against John Jones. And Rakic is also coming off a loss. A split decision loss to Volkan Oezdemir. It was controversial. People thought Rakic won. But Smith tapped out Oezdemir when they fought. So he was able to stop him. Rakic went to decision. Rakic has a great head kick. We all know that after watching the Jimmy Manuel fight, knocking him out completely unconscious in the first round. He has a lot of first-round knockouts. But Rakic does get caught with a lot of punches, too. He gets hurt in his fights, and he's able to come back. But Smith is on a whole nother level than the opponents he's fought before. And I think if he gets hurt bad by Smith, Smith is going to be able to finish the fight or hop on his back and get a submission of some sort. I think Rakic is going to be really dangerous in the first round, but if Smith can survive past the first round, then he's going to get a decision win. This is only a 3-round fight. If it was a 5-round fight, I'd probably give Smith a finish, but I think Rakic is going to be able to survive 3 rounds, but it's going to be decision loss for him. Smith winning by decision. Those are my pick for tomorrow's fight night. I can't wait to watch it, and I'll see you guys for the recap.